Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Welcome back to another episode of Challenger Spectates. We return actually on a different server. So the first thing we're going to do is swap over to that side, other side. And today we're going to be focusing in on Jayce. So Jayce is a champion that I've always played. You know, every now and then you'll see me play the champion. Meanwhile, there's a bit of an invade happening, but it's probably just going to be both teams running away. But I've played him for the years, and I really like him, and I think he's a great solo queue champion. And, well, depending when this gets uploaded, there was a Jayce game around this time. But basically, the difference of today is I'm on a brand new server. So we are actually on North America now. We're not on EU West for a couple reasons. One, a lot more of, like, let's say, the personalities that people care about and would like to see them in these episodes. A lot of those people are actually on North America. Honestly, in this game, there doesn't seem to be any from what I can tell, but maybe there is because, you know, some people kind of go, oh, that's so-and-so Smurf. I have no idea. But then, secondly, I looked on EU West, and there doesn't actually seem to be that many Jayce players. And I thought, okay, for these next three, I'm going to be doing 3 Challenger Spectates recording in this session now. All of them I'm going to try and do on North America. And the second reason is to see if there's any actual differences from what we can tell. I doubt we'll be able to see any differences, I'm going to be honest. Anyway, first thing to notice is we've got Jayce, we've got a Malzahar on this team. Jayce is going all in on the Zoe instantly and gets her, wow, gets her low immediately. And yeah, so it's Jayce mid and Malzahar top. Probably, like, again, that was the positions they were given, but maybe this person has found out that Jayce is really good versus Zoe. Because, again, I've told you guys before, one of the counters that Zoe has is bit burst. If you burst her before she bursts you, well, that's how you beat her. And that Jayce just absolutely wrecked that Zoe. Like, Zoe has not done anything in lane, 0 farm, gets her first bit of farm, and she's already used 2 of her corrupting potions just to get back to higher health. That's insane. Meanwhile, Jayce has used 1 potion. So, okay, that is something straight away. Jayce is also running Ignite and Electrocute, by the way, for a Jayce as in a very, very aggressive build, which is telling me that this guy isn't just going to be about EQ spamming in late game. He probably will want to go on people. And when I would say the basic mechanic that a lot of Jayces muck up on, especially if you're new to Jayce, is before you go in hammer form to, like, do the actual burst with the hammer, make sure you press W when you're in ranged form if you're not going to use the attack in ranged form, because it actually does increase your attack speed while you're in hammer form as well. It is something that I see a lot of people not doing, and it is definitely worth doing. Alright, so the enemy bot lane, by the way, they are still running Vladimir, and just to remind everybody, whenever I do these replays, it has to be on current patch. Old replays do not work when a new patch comes out. So this is a Vladimir still being played in bot lane when kind of they've died out. Again, this is North America Challenger, where I don't know if we really... That might be a small difference with Challengers already. In current patch, I don't think people play AP Mages in Challenger in EU West anymore. I think. Anyway, there's a gank as well in bot lane, by the way, but they do get a return kill under the tower. That gives basically the Ezreal back into this lane. Meanwhile, Jayce is going all in onto the Zoe. This Jayce is so aggressive. It's crazy. So he uses his flash. He does get Zoe's, but obviously Zoe gets a free flash by picking up with a passive. But wow. So he's all about trying to just DPS her as much as possible. Meanwhile, Riven gets the Malzahar. Again, bit weird to see Malzahar top lane. Again, I would never want to play Malz into a Riven. Like, in mid-game, sure, you might do well against a Riven, but one, she can buy QSS, and secondly, Malzahar's early lane phase is pretty damn weak, and Riven will probably, like, not... She's not going to take much damage if she just simply presses shield. So what I'm actually interested to see what this Jayce does, personally, and again, this series is... the reason why I like Spectate Challenges is because, especially when I get back from vacation, you're watching this when I'm away, I really want to try and get better at League, because I've not focused on it in ages. Like, I've wanted to climb, meanwhile the aggression level comes out, which is a bit confusing, because the Jayce, he does actually get the kill, so I'll say why I was a bit confused, but we'll say why it's good. I was a bit confused why he went for that, because Zoe clearly still had the flash in her passive, so she could definitely flash away, but Jayce was just confident enough with his Ignite, with a little bit of damage, and the Ignite, he was confident that he got the kill, and he did. So already I'm kind of thinking, damn, Jayce might be the answer to Zoe that we've all been looking for. But yeah, like I mentioned, when I get back, I want to try and get better at League, and when I watch Challenger people, a lot of them, what they do is confidence. Like, that play, I think my Jayce isn't bad. I've played him to high diamond before. Would I ever have gone for that Zoe play? Probably not. Like, yeah, I don't think I would have, but he did. And that's the same, remember the Vladimir episode probably about 5 days ago? The Vladimir did the exact same thing. Went under tower, dove, got a kill. I wouldn't have done that. So it is worth kind of noting that these guys, sure, they play, you know, they don't play kind of crazy complicated because you don't need to, but they just play well and their decision making is on point, and that is what separates them from like a normal high rating player, like a diamond player to the average League of Legends player is still in the top 1%. But compare these players, challengers, to a diamond player, there's no competition. Meanwhile, Jayce is going all in once again. He just one-shot that Zoe. Warwick didn't even get a touch on that Zoe, no assist. He just legit one-shot her, by the way, without Ignite. Zoe was the one that had Ignite because she picked up Jayce's. That was pure bang damage. And like I've said, and what I have said, is burst beat Zoe. And this Jayce with Electrocute, it's too much burst. Like, what I will say, the only thing that the Zoe hasn't done very effectively is she's not hit her sleep early. I think she just hit her sleep there, but she was dead by the time the Jayce actually went to sleep. She needs to hit that sleep earlier to stop the Jayce actually engaging on her, or have better positioning. How is a melee form Jayce actually being able to jump on a Zoe? Well, it's her own positioning. It's her own fault. So, yeah. So, he's up on farm. There's 2 solo kills now. 1 under tower, 1 just simply bursting her in mid lane. He's getting some vision off to the side. He's also probably going to kill the control ward. Does get slept. That I was actually going to see if he was going to do that. Meanwhile, Zoe missed her Q. When you get slept as Jayce, as another small counter to Zoe, throw a Q just before you fall asleep, and the likelihood of hitting Zoe if she is running for you to hit a Q is probably very high, so at least you can do some trade damage. He is pushing it right now, so you've got to question, why is he pushing it? Does he think Zoe's going back? Does he just simply want the pressure? Why is the pushing happening? Meanwhile, Malzahar does die again. So simply he just pushes it, I guess, just to know where the Zoe is. Zoe shows back up under the tower. Jayce is just waiting off to the side. Don't exactly know what type of play he's going. He's returning to the mid lane now. But he is waiting. So it's like, is he waiting? So he's basically waiting for information. Vladimir came back bot lane, did actually get killed by my bot lane. So now the Jayce is in a bit of limbo. You might be thinking, isn't this wasting time? Yes and no. Like, unfortunately, he didn't get anything for looking for that. But he was looking. Like, he's not just content with staying in mid lane, not doing anything. He really wants to make an effort of doing more than just mid lane. So he's now coming for a flank. Kha'Zix with this timing, he's going to go for burst. He gets 1 kill, and that's look at that damage. He nearly killed 2 of them. If he actually used Ignite, there was a small possibility that he could have killed Kha'Zix there too. So much damage. Meanwhile, Riven and Soraka both help to kill the Warwick with Soraka ult, obviously. And obviously, Riven used Ignite to kill the Warwick too. But wow, I am really impressed with Jayce's damage. Again, I am somebody that's played Jayce over the years, and even I'm getting surprised with his damage. He is one-shotting people when, let's be honest, what item he's got, all he had was a serrated Dirk. That's it. That's nuts. That's really nuts. Anyway, he's a tiny bit ahead on farm. Again, Zoe was managing to catch up because Jayce was looking for that little roam play that didn't really get him anything. And again, that's the risk you're going to take when you're roaming. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. But when it does work, it's worth a lot. So he's constantly pushing. So he's not interested in freezing. He's just constantly pushing it. First dragon is Wind Dragon. So it'll be interesting to see if the blue team wants to go for that. Again, apologies if there's slight FPS lag with this replay. It shouldn't look bad in video because in a video recording, it smooths everything out to 60 frames per second. Where for me, that is supposed to be on more, you can see in the top right, it's at like 98. It looks kind of choppy. But it should be completely fine in the video. So same play happening. He is thinking of going for something here. Enemy bot lane. Oh, he does miss his first EQ. He's going to jump on the Soraka. One-shots the Soraka from half health. He flashes on the Vladimir. You did see that, if you guys saw, the hammer was moving really fast there because he pressed W. He pressed W before... They traded places. He pressed W before the sleep went through. No, he swapped form. Okay, so Riven does want to roam. And again, there does seem to be a bit of a difference. Oh, really close. Does seem to be a little bit difference in the top lanes. You know, Riven's now 5-0. Malzahar is 0-2, but there's a small farm advantage from Malzahar. He's staying top lane when Riven's roaming. So again, I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he's a Malzahar one-trick, because I don't know why else he'd be top lane. Or he's just very, like, not confident about, you know, laning against a Riven, so he wants to go something that he can lock her down. Don't know. Obviously, that Kha'Zix seems to be very obnoxious with that emote spam. Again, let me know in the comment section if the emote spam stuff gets to you guys, or if you are somebody that does it. Because I don't know if I'm the only one, but the reason why you never see that when I'm playing League is one of the first things I did when they implemented it. I muted all types of emotes. You can do that, by the way, which includes, like, them little cartoon ones or the mastery. Like, I don't get any of that. I've just muted it. So when people, like, again, some people like this Kha'Zix, you can see it's permanently spammed. He's probably bound that to one of his abilities, maybe his Q, as, like, a technique to make people annoyed. But it doesn't really work if people just mute it. Anyway, Jay's coming for another roam. He's probably going to look for an EQ from the back way. Vladimir looking for the damage. Jayce comes in with a lot of damage. Jayce helps gets the kill for the Ezreal. It would be nice if Jayce gets it. Alistar actually picks it up. Meanwhile, Malzahar kills the Riven because she dove him. And voila. So I'm very impressed for a couple reasons with this Jayce. One, the confidence of knowing how much his damage his champion does. Two, I've never really seen electrocute Jayce that often. So that is something that I'm definitely going to think about if I'm against a squishier champion. If I want to take Jayce mid, which I might start doing. But three, he isn't just content with having an okay mid lane. Like, he won mid lane, Zoe's 0-4. He's roaming a lot, and he's still even on farm. So this is what you'd call a very successful mid laner. If you want to climb in solo queue, this is a prime example of how to do it. You do well, you win your own lane, and you affect the game in a positive way. That's how you do it, everybody. I'm just going to take a drink because my throat is getting very, very dry. Excuse-moi. Seems there's a massive bot lane play. Let's see what's happening while Jayce is in base. Kha'Zix doesn't get anything. My bot lane's pretty damn low. Alistar might have sacrificed himself there, but I think that's worth. Honestly, I think that was worth. If that... Oh, hopefully Zoe doesn't kill this Ezreal, though. Okay, he's okay. Alright, so Alistar saved the Ezreal's life, which is more valuable, because Ezreal might even be on some type of killing streak. Jayce is waiting in the wings, seeing if he can get anything. Warwick's just continuing farming. He's, like, looking for Zoe or something here. This is his vision, so he's probably just seeing if someone were to come up. Oh, here we go. He dodges Zoe's Q. Riven pops a flash, instantly bursted, and obviously that's the negative of Jayce. You're very squishy. Riven does use flash for that play, though, so, again, I don't know who this Riven is. I'm sure there's some people who know who this Riven is, you know, a Challenger Riven player. I don't keep up with all that, so... Potentially, it's just a very good... Well, it's obviously a very good Riven if it's a Challenger. But Warwick gets ignited. Ezreal ult comes down. Oh, very close. Ezreal should pick this up, I would think. He might get himself a double kill here. Should be focusing the Vladimir just to take care of their carry more. You can see Ezreal is doing a lot of auto-attacking, which is a big mistake a lot of AD carry Ezreals don't make. They don't auto-attack enough. It is surprising. But they actually let the Vladimir go. Alistar mucked up his combo because he didn't have vision. Meanwhile, Zoe is now bot lane roaming. A lot of roaming. So one thing I will say, and again, this is only one game, so I can't say this is a server-wide thing. On my first game of watching a North American Challenger game, there is far more roaming that is occurring in this game than the EU West games that we've seen. Again, we can't say that's like how both of the servers are different because this is only one game. But we've done, what, 4 or 5 EU West games so far? And this is... Oh, damn. Oh, he's going in! He will get the Kha'Zix. That's a shutdown, so that is technically worth. Meanwhile, Malzahar's coming over for the Riven. He is probably going to pick up... Wow, that damage. I guess that's why you don't play Malzahar top lane, ladies and gentlemen, is that... There's champions that just do different things. Alright, well, this game is going to be a spicy one because you've got an 8-1 Riven, you've got a 4-2 Kha'Zix. And the rest of them are a bit lackluster. Look how far behind the Vladimir is on farm. But now Zoe's on the board. Zoe gets the kill on the Ezreal, which isn't a good sign for my team. Alistar probably will live, which is great. But yeah, it's a bit messy. Gold-wise, it's very close. Again, it's 14 minutes into the game. And it's, you know... 400 gold is separating the two teams, so that's nothing really to be sad about. Meanwhile, Jayce is heading on his way to bot lane. He does already use his gate over here, so he can't gate into the Vladimir. He is just... Wow! He is just... I'll say this. He's obviously a Challenger player, very good. Is he too aggressive? Because, like, Usually, what I will say, and again, this is a learning process for me. Usually, when you're playing something like Jayce, who's got no form of, like, getting away, he's just a running champion, basically, you want to be careful with blowing flash, because, again, like you just saw in mid lane, he didn't have flash because he's been doing these crazy aggressive plays. If Riven comes mid and he doesn't have flash, he's probably dead. He's just using flash all the time, like it doesn't matter. Like, yes, he got Vladimir flash for his, but you could argue that Vladimir has better escape than him. Vladimir's got a W. Jayce doesn't. He can't, like, have anti-CC. Anyway, he's coming for the Vladimir now. So this should be a kill, but he's got to be careful. See, is opening. He just jumps on him with his hammer form, then swaps to his range form, getting some DPS down. Again, Soraka could have ultimate. Boom. There was the massive burst damage. And you can see here the difference. Soraka said she had ultimate up in 2 seconds, and Vladimir pinged her ult saying, hey, you had it. I think it was probably like a second away from Soraka ult actually working. But anyway, you can now slightly see probably the reason this guy picked Malzahar is simply this, is the pushing power of Malzahar versus Riven. He can be relatively safe by just dotting a minion, throwing the W on it, and just walking away. The problem is, if Riven is in the mood to engage on him, that's where he'll get in trouble, and that's where he needs to ult. But as you can see here, she's already bought a QSS. So again, to me, it's not worth picking Malzahar top lane to counter something like that. Again, I don't know if this guy's a one-trick. If he is, that I guess that makes sense. But yeah, so what would I want to see moving forward in this team comp? Well, surprisingly, the blue team, I'd say, actually has a better group than the enemy team, even though it's a Vladimir and stuff. The reason for it is the enemy team has 2 champions that basically thrive of being left alone. Like a Kha'Zix and a Riven, they don't want any problems. They just want to kind of do what they want to do and just, like, pick people. They don't really want to have, like, a big fight with CC involved, where my team probably does. Warwick, Malzahar, Alistair, like that's probably what they're after, is grouping, try to CC somebody, and that will probably help big time. Malzahar flashes away, doesn't do anything about it, gets slept before anything can happen. Enemy team that know that Jayce is here, he nearly bursted in, but as you can see, everybody's buying QSSs. Don't know if that would have saved him, but we need the kill and deaths aren't obviously looking very good, but basically we need this team to start working together and stop thinking that they're always safe. Like just waiting in a bush thinking I'm safe. Waiting in mid lane kind of forgetting about a Zoe thinking I'm safe. They need to stop doing that and just take control of the game and slow the pace down, and I think they'd be okay. Zoe, by the way, just got completely obliterated by that Alistair. That was actually very good play. But Riven comes over, does get up the kill. Warwick gets a return kill. Warwick now ulting Soraka, gets himself a double kill. They're probably going to continue for the Riven. Ezra's got Iceborne Gauntlet. Warwick does a triple kill, does a really nice Q to follow the flash, which is obviously part of Warwick's kit. If you hold the Q, when somebody uses some type of mobility spell, if you do it at the right time, you will follow that person no matter what mobility spell it is, whether it's flash, a teleport, well not teleport, but you know what I mean. Anyway, another thing that I'm interested in is that they're grouping mid lane now. Vladimir actually uses ultimate randomly. Look where Jayce is. Again, he's the guy that we're highlighting in today's video. He's top. So he's gone from being a very good 1v1 person to, but now he is split pushing. Also, if we talk about his build a little bit, meanwhile my team get the Vladimir and also the tower. Kha'Zix gets bot lane tower, but also Malzahar does die eventually. But he is split pushing. So he won the lane in a 1v1, but Zoe has managed to catch up and farm. She's already also got herself on the board. When it comes to gold, they're basically even in gold, the mid laners, and that is obviously kind of annoying when you won your lane, but I guess that Zoe's Zoe, right? But if he split pushes, I'm kind of interested, because in my mind it's like, okay, he's split pushing. Who is he likely to split push against? Riven? Does he beat Riven? I don't think so. So I want to see how that transitions into the rest of the game. Does he continue split pushing? Does he start grouping? As for his build, again, it's the pure one-shot bang. Even poke build, more or less, is the just lethality. Probably next item is going to be a Black Cleaver. And again, some people may ask, what about Tyr? Is Tyr good on Jayce? It's situational. In a game like this, I don't think so, because he is building himself to one-shot people. He's against Zoe, he has to burst. He guessed that someone was in there, he was correct, there was 2 people in there. But he has to one-shot. When you go Tyr, you go a bit more poke-orientated, and you're also slowing down your build. You don't want to slow down your build here. You want to have as quick of a build as possible. Throws a Q down, Vladimir W's early, probably going to get himself killed. Warwick goes for a nice ultimate, but does get himself... Zonya's. But Vladimir does die eventually. Jayce picks himself up the kill. And here we go. The grouping is happening. Malzahar still has ultimate, but remember there are a couple QSSs here. Jayce does a lot of burst damage. He gets silence rooted. Kha'Zix jumps in, which is surprising. And they are probably going to walk away. Riven gets like QSSs. There's the CC that I was talking about. And this is why the blue team, in my opinion, has team comp advantage if they play it correctly when it comes to grouping. Because, again, you've got two people, Riven and Kha'Zix. I would never, ever, ever want a Riven and Kha'Zix on the same team. Because they're two champions that basically want to achieve the same thing. Being alone, picking people. It's very unlikely you're going to get that situation. The more people you have that on the team comp, the more likely the enemy team will know that and kind of go, hey, we should just group. Grouping will probably, like, help us more than, like, you know, splitting. Anyway, a Baron attempt is a little bit risky. Zoe manages to flash over the wall. She is going to get a couple kills here and there. So again, it's a game that has got positive ups and downs, and it's a little bit messy. And again, this is Challenger, and like I've said before, solo queue, solo queue. You know, even though these are Challenger players, you know, one of them could be talking to a friend about, like, a, you know, I'm going to be buying a car on the weekend, or I'm going on holiday, or it's solo queue. Like, they're not try-harding to the maximum like they would be on, let's say, an LCS stage. And that's why they're never really comparable solo queue to pro play. Completely different environment. And sure, a lot of these Challenger players who have amazing mechanics, they'd probably do okay mechanically in LCS. But again, pro play, there's so much more. There's decision-making, there's the environment, there's the pressure. Anyway, they are doing Baron. Baron is being very low. He does do a bit of damage to it, but the enemy team are going to pick it up, I would imagine. See if they can get any return kills happening here. Vladimir does ultimate. Malz does no damage. Warwick jumping into the pit by himself. Ezreal comes down. Alistar gets into the mix. Actually mucks up his combo yet again. Again, Challenger Alistar mucking up his combo. Jayce jumps in. They should be trying to look to DPS this guy because he doesn't have any escape unless he's got flash up. Kha'Zix jumps back in. Jayce has got no mana. That's why he's so hesitant to do anything. And honestly, again, not a great situation. They lost that fight. No one on the enemy team died. And they got Baron. So again, this game is not looking good. The goal difference is growing. The only fortunate thing is blue team has one more dragon. And they've got one more tower right now. But as I've said to everybody before, towers, having tower advantage, sure, it's good. But if you don't win with your tower advantage is meaningless. Because towers are so easy to get in late game. Like, it takes, you know, even an AP mage, because of how AP mages work with auto-attacking towers, like a Veigar can two-shot a tower in late game with his auto-attacks when he has a lot of AP. Towers are nothing. Alright, Warwick just trying to stop the Riven on the blue. He's a bit hesitant, though, but he is going to... Riven back picks it up, by the way. CC coming in. She just QSS's it. And probably going to back away. Malzahar goes a little bit weird with positioning. There's a fight happening over here. Ezreal just walks straight into a Zoe damage. So I don't know what that was about. But yeah, like I actually don't know how much more left of this game there is. But you can see like 1-8 Malzahar, 4-6 Warwick. He is building tanky. Alistar also does die. 8-5 Jayce. Again, I'm not incredibly, and this is where I say again, not incredibly impressed with the farm of this game. And that's why whenever people ask me, like, oh, what's amazing farm at 10 minutes or 20 minutes? It's why I never give an answer, because it's a pointless question. This has been a pretty... For a Challenger game, this is a high kill game. Like, 54 deaths, 54 kills and deaths in total at 23 minutes for a Challenger game is, to me, incredibly high. Enemy team is looking to push. Warwick has to use ultimate to escape. He does manage to survive just. Ezreal going to be looking to just do something. Does get DPS'd and one-shot by Zoe, because of course he did. Warwick, I do not know why he stayed a little bit too long. Does manage to survive, though. Malzahar does get caught once again. Alistar going for a knock-up. Doesn't miss his combo this time. Alistar going to look for the auto-attack. Malzahar manages to survive. Jayce going for return damage. Riven has not died yet. Jayce looking just potentially for a bit of damage. And this probably could be the end of the game. But again, it's not about wins and losses. It's about, like, you know, learning. But this could actually be a throw. If my team basically aced the enemy team here, this is a lot of gold being handed over. Like, a lot of gold. So I would like to see Jayce continuing this chase here. We know Kha'Zix is still around, but very low. Warwick going to continue. Jayce mucks up his EQ. There's probably a blasting plant here, so they might get away. The silence... Whoa! Maybe the dragon might kill the Kha'Zix. There's a small possibility. Warwick going to continue chase with his nose. He is going to get to the Soraka. He gets one. There is a flash by the Soraka as well. The root comes through. He is probably going to continue. Jayce actually managed to hit that. Warwick going to continue for it. does get the kill, and that is an official ace. Again, that could be the turning point to this game. Like, it's unlikely that the blue team's going to win, but they could. Again, I will say to you guys, even me right now, when the enemy team is so far ahead now, and they're getting one base tower, so many people would probably, like, surrender this game. So many. And again, I'm going to be honest, I downloaded this replay, I think, 2 days ago, because I, like, you know, researched and stuff. I can't remember the outcome. I know how strong certain people got, but I don't remember which team won. And, well, the game's not over, so, like, potentially the blue team win. But, again, for them to win, they have to play really, really smart and not throw anything. Like, it does seem like, look how fed the Kazakhs is, by the way. Like, he's the highest level, I think, in the game, or at least tied. No, he is the highest level in the game. He's got the most farm in the game for a jungler. And again, that's the weird thing. Junglers in a situation like nowadays that either you get really behind as a jungler or you get really ahead as a jungler. That's it. There's no kind of even ground, like, per se. Or that's the way that it feels. Okay, Jay's going to be picking up a lot of that. Warwick actually is going for that. Again, decision-making, man. Like, Challenger, like, no vision in here. By yourself, no vision up here. And you jump on the Vladimir that has Zhonya's and Pool anyway? That was just bizarre. Vladimir going for an all-in play on the Jayce. Don't think he's going to get anything. Does use his flash for it, but also gets the Jayces. Jayce going for some return damage, which is nice. Kazakh's knocking on the front door. Just going to be entering the base to be annoying. Again, it's a tactic that a lot of people do. Again, how useful is the Malzahar moving into the game? Well, he's got to ult the right people. If he ults the people that, like, has QSS, obviously he's not going to be that useful. But that's the annoying thing, is the two people that want to go in on the enemy team comp this game, the Kazakhs and the Riven, well, they're the two that's got QSS. Okay, Kazakh's going in, pops his QSS. That means Malzahar could technically go for it. Alistair getting caught. There's an ultimate target he wanted. Jayce going to go for some damage. There's a trade kill. They are going to continue going for this play, which I think is an okay situation if the whole team was together. Jayce going for a snipe. Does do a little bit of damage, but nothing more. Zoe looking for the kill on Jayce. Does manage to pick it up. God, I hate Zoe. Warwick doing a bit of damage. Riven ultimate comes down. Does a bit of DPS, but there is a lot of minions. The base is going down. Warwick throws his ultimate. Does pick up the Kazakhs. Riven coming in. A lot of minions happening in the base right now. Warwick does manage to survive with his E damage reduction. Ezreal just holding on. Riven's going to finish off that guy. And this, I think, is the end of the game. So, again, lesson learned today. And again, it's an unfortunate situation that the Jayce did really well. But I have definitely learned a thing or two about the matchup. Ezreal does pick up one kill with his ultimate. The game actually is not over at this stage of the game. Ezreal going to be going for a couple more kills where, in fact, I think he should be helping with these minions, potentially. Just need to land something. There you go. 1, 2. Gets a double kill. Baron's coming up in 35 seconds. I don't think they have enough time to do it. Like, they might, but it's risky. Malzahar should be, in my opinion, the one that stays back and farm. He's got very good wave clear with all these minions and dots, etc. But again, remember, there's 2 inhibs down, another inhib. Well, this is all open, but both base towers are down. So again, this game, in theory, should be over. Well, I don't really see how it's going to be turned if... Well, maybe the Baron. If they do Baron, then maybe, but I don't think they're going to do Baron. Because, like, the enemy team is up in, like, 15 seconds. 3 of them are up already, including the jungler. Alistair, of all people, is saying, no, we're doing Baron. And he just starts the Baron by himself, which is a bit odd. Ezreal on the other side, he probably should have tried to get over there and taking out the blasting one. So they are doing it. This is a last-ditch attempt to try and win this game. Is to take the Baron. If this gets stolen, the game's over. Okay, Vladimir pulling in. Baron gets taken by blue team. Oh, Malzahar ultimate kills the Vladimir. Okay, this could be a turning point. Baron sometimes is a big turning point. Riven jumps into the pit. Kazakh's in the middle, does pick up the Jayce. Riven doing a lot of damage, does go down. You can see the Ezreal has not been touched this whole team fight. And the Malzahar dot might finish some people off. No, they managed to survive just. Wow. If that Soraka walks in the wrong way and a minion goes on her side, that could be really bad. Ezreal continue. You can see the minions are attacking the Soraka. Very low. Malzahar going for the Kazakhs. Don't think he's going to get anything. But wow, that Baron. So again, props to the Alistair. He was like, no, we're doing Baron. He starts Baron by himself as the Moo Cow. And they do it, they get it, they kill people, and now the base is open. They're probably at least going to get an inhibitor. And again, this is a Challenger game where there are no base towers, no Nexus inhibitors. They're still trying. They still want to win. They're down on kills. They're down on gold. And the lesson here, Kha'Zix's going for a snipe play on the Ezreal. Malzahar, don't know. He has got ultimate, by the way. Doesn't use it yet, so they just walk away. They do pick up the inhibitor. But this is why, like, again, potentially I picked this game is because the vast majority... Yeah, no, I remember now. I saw the gold curve. That was it. The vast majority of people who were even in lower rating, in diamond or gold, bronze... When you're in this situation, you'll be like, oh, the game's over. GG, well played. Like, hell, there are some people out there that believe the game's over after first blood, for God's sake. Where these guys are still trying, you know, they're making plays. They're not just on the back foot. They're like, oh, let's do Baron. Like, that's a decision. That's an aggressive decision. That's not a passive decision. They're still wanting to try and do something. And it's an opportunity that they might win the game. Again, it's unlikely, and that's the word to use, because their base is technically dead. But they've both respawned. So if now that my team has got Baron, if you keep the enemy team out of your base, well then having no towers and having no Nexus towers, or having no base, in fact that doesn't matter, because you're not letting them get to your base. So this is why my team is playing very now deep, because they are not letting them get there. Kha'Zix's getting pretty, like, you know, he's around, he's trying to do a bit of DPS just in the mix. Enemy team, Riven ultimate comes down, so she doesn't have that. Obviously not a very, like, long cooldown, but that's worth noting. So they do have to be very careful. Again, the one thing that I'd be scared about is if, like, one person mispositions and Kha'Zix or Riven one-shots them. It's like, oh, well, that's GG. And that's probably how this game is going to go, is, like, if someone dies in the wrong position, it could be game. So, yeah, it's one of those. Again, checking bushes, which is smart. Enemy team pick up another dragon. Again, no infernos or anything this game. Blue team, by the way, right now is spam pinging head to top lane. Now, remember, so many people right now will be like, is that a good idea? Meanwhile, Riven is basing in full vision. This is interesting. Warwick goes for an ultimate. Does actually manage to stop her, but she might die here, by the way. He mucks up his combo again because he gets silenced. Don't think Riven's going to die. She is going to manage to survive, which is a bit of a pain. Alistair tanking that, which I think is fine. He should pop his ultimate there. That's a good decision. But remember, when you're pushing here, Riven goes in for an all-in play, which is... Oh, God, that Alistair. Alistair just jumped her into the whole enemy team. Is Ezreal going to go down? No. Watch the Jayce doing the DPS. Kha'Zix actually misses his jump completely. Wonderful thingy by that guy. I can't even speak now. Ezreal unfortunately mucks up a little bit there. Kha'Zix pops a QSS to get his slow rid of the gauntlet. Jayce is going to go for the Kha'Zix, does pick him up, and they get an ace. No, nearly. Zoe's nearly dead. I thought that Alistair ruined that because he threw a Riven into 4 of them and she got a 4-man stun. But anyway, again, this is the power of a, you know, as I've mentioned earlier, the power of a comp that is designed more to group, and the power of having 2 pick champions. These guys can't pick people if you simply group against them, and that's what's happening. Don't know if, like, again, so the only difference that is now in the teams is both teams have 2 ways open into the enemy base. Here it's mid and bot, over here it's top and mid. The only difference now is the 2 Nexus towers. That's it. So from a game that the enemy team had basically the base, and Jayce's team had nothing, to now it's very close. Again, like I said to you guys, towers don't mean that much because they die very quickly. If you ace them, they basically die in 2 seconds. So it's basically even at this point. The gold is 2,000 gold difference in 33 minutes as well. Not that big of a difference either. You know, if you spread that, again, 2,000 gold difference when it comes to 1 champion, that's a bigger difference. But 2,000 gold spread in terms of 5 champions, it's basically nothing. All right, so I want to consider, like, if I was on this team, and again, how I learn from these episodes is I say what I'm looking to see, and if they do something different, then I learn. I'm like, why did they do that? Was it a mistake, or did they do it and did it go well? So I just want to see continued grouping. You know, that's all I want to see. I wouldn't be surprised if the enemy team go for a backdoor, or they attempt to. It's like, guys, we've lost the last 2 team fights. Let's just go for a crazy backdoor and see if we can end the game before, like, they can get to us. Or at least, like, Riven tries to do that. Again, risky play happening because they are split completely. But they should be grouping bot lane, because it's the only lane that they don't have anything in. Like, it's the only lane that's not open. You know, you've got a tier 2 here, and you've got that there. And there's going to be super minions flooding into both sides. They should be careful of bushes, which he is checking. There's a control ward in there. You can see Vladimir in top lane. Alistair in mid lane by himself again. You've got to question what the hell is he doing. Again, it's a distraction. So by the time they do kill him, like, look what's going to happen. We're gonna pan over in a second. He's dead. Look, tower. So you could argue that worked completely, like, really well. They get the other inhibitor. Now they've got to get out safe. Again, I would question why the Alistair did that, because I don't think he needed to, but it did work out. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix is in the enemy base. He is going to try go for a play. Ezreal was staying in a bush, seeing if he could get a pick. Kha'Zix is most likely going to get this, because, you know, he probably can. Teleport is risky by the Malzahar, because, you know, there's a chance that Kha'Zix could have just turned on him. So there you go. The enemy team getting an inhibitor. There is a play happening in bot lane, potentially. Very careful that Ezreal has to be. Riven, again, this Riven has used Flash nearly every single engage, which, again, basically makes her predictable. Kha'Zix does come for a flank play, though. Ezreal is going to go down. Again, a little overstay is happening. That's basically what that is. And again, now a situation. Ta-da! Riven has to or at least someone has to teleport. Who's teleporting? Oh, really close stopping that. I think that was the Zoe. Maybe she picked up a teleport. So now the Nexus Towers are lower health. There's a chase happening down here. Jayce is going to be trying to get the Riven. One EQ does get up the kill. Vladimir is in this situation, so Jayce finds him. Vladimir instantly pops his ultimate just for safety. Warwick goes a little bit too much. Ultimate coming in by the Kha'Zix, which isn't going to, with the Malzahar, which isn't going to do anything. Kha'Zix didn't have QSS. Alistair hits his combo, which again, he's been quite bad with this game. Jayce with the Vlad pooling, he does manage to get that. Soraka will go down, which is a lovely play. Malzahar ult is ticking a little bit on some people. He does do more tick damage. We don't know what the Kha'Zix is. Good Zonya's another combo hit by the Alistair. And that, honestly, is game. Wow. That's crazy. So again, from a Challenger game that you'd expect Challenger people to not make many mistakes, the enemy team made a lot of mistakes. The enemy team had basically the entire base to their disposal. They had 2 inhibs open. They had base towers. And they lose the game. So again, as for the actual Jayce himself, this Jayce was interesting. Like, he was good, and you could tell he was good. He hit his mechanics well. I didn't even mention that, but his confidence was key. He was confident about what he was doing. Incredibly aggressive, and I would say maybe even too aggressive using his flash when it wasn't a guaranteed kill, which sometimes got himself killed when he didn't have his flash up. And then his build, obviously a very aggro build. He finishes it with the 3 lethality items, by the way. With a Black Cleaver, Boots of Swiftness just for extra movement speed, and then that will probably have been working into a Guardian's Angel as the final item. But honestly, really good game to watch. Again, this is Challenger, North America. Sure, I can spot a couple differences here with EU, but it's just one game, so there's no point going, oh, the servers are so different, because again, well, if a pattern emerges with me doing more North America episodes, then sure, I can say the differences, but I can't just do that after one game. Anyway, though, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't. Let me know all that stuff down below. Anything you want to add, any other things that you noticed, put them down there, help other people out, and that's going to be it. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time.